It's cloudy and yeah, overcast. It's not it's not been terrible, but it's not great either today.
Uh,
So, yeah.
you're in England, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm in the northwest, so halfway between Liverpool and Manchester. So
I see. Yes, I'm in Ireland,
yes,
so
yeah.
pretty similar weather.
Whereabouts in Ireland?
In the north.
Right. Okay.
So it was all right. We had great weather, and this week they said it was going to be terrible. It's going to be awful. And then this whole week's just been sun. So,
Right.
so I wasted money on an umbrella.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Oh, God. So, anyway, I watched the first time ever, believe it or not, I actually watched the Human Centipede last night while I was
Right.
lying in bed.
Yeah.
And I never properly watched it before. I sat and watched it, and I was like,
Human Centipede 2.
yeah, sorry, yeah,
Yeah.
Human Centipede 2, yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember the first one. I remember people saying, the second one's worse than the first. And I was like, how could it possibly top that? And then I watched it last night, and yeah, I get it. I totally get it, yeah. But it was brilliant. I actually really, really liked it.
Good.
Thought your performance was awesome.
Thank you.
So
have you seen the editor as well?
What? Sorry.
Have you seen the editor?
The editor. I've seen bits and pieces of it. Yeah, and I heard a lot of praise for it.
Yeah. No, it is really good. It's just it sort of didn't really get a. I mean, it got a release in the UK, but not really. It wasn't really pushed, or people didn't pick up on it. So, yeah. And it deserves to be. It deserves a rewatch. That's all. So.
Yeah. What was the issue? It was just not promoted properly, or people just didn't hear about it? Or?
Well, it sort of did the festival circuit, and then came out on DVD, and then but it was at that point where people were, if you were collecting films, you were starting to move into Blu-ray rather than DVD, and it was just the wrong time, really. But yeah.
Well, hopefully people do pick up on, some people do pick up on hidden gems, and they become bigger. So it's still possible.
Yeah, I mean the people behind that, Astron 6, they've gone on to bigger things like Psycho Gorman and stuff like that. So yeah. So.
Awesome. So if I'm right, and I did my research, the Human Centipede 2, that was your first ever film, is that right?
First film that came out, yeah. First feature film that came out. So.
That's amazing. So how did you prepare for that? Because I know for most of the film I watched, when I saw it last night, there wasn't any vocals, so it was all physical. It was body language, facial expressions. How did you prepare for that? What was?
I think what it was during the audition. I mean, Tom had said that he didn't want Martin to speak very much, but then in the audition, I just forgot to speak, and he kind of liked how much I could convey without saying anything. So, and there's also a power within that. I mean, it's a kind of dumb power, but it's Martin. My view of Martin is that he doesn't quite emotionally connect with people, and there's that kind of social kind of unease between him and other people. And then, so I think that kind of disconnect means he doesn't quite grasp what's going on with the conversation, or he can't be asked answering people. So there's that kind of thing. I mean, obviously Martin in the narrative obviously does talk, but we don't see him talking on screen because he rings up the agents of the actors of the first film in order to try and persuade them to come over to be part of his project. So hence Ashlyn comes.
Yeah, that's right, because I remember the scene where his mom said he just keeps talking about these turning people into centipedes and stuff. And I was like, okay, so he said that, so he does talk. He just chooses.
Yeah,
not to.
just off screen. Yeah, that's it.
That's fascinating. There was one scene at the end of whenever he goes to like the last person after he shoots everybody else, and he goes to the last person, the girl, and I swear it looks like he's about to talk or he wants to talk or he's like getting ready, but then she, beats him or whatever.
Yeah,
The
pinches
centipede.
him in the balls.
Yeah. I was like, is he going to speak? Is he? And I was leaning closer to the screen. Is he going to say something? Nope.
But that is the time when he would, because he loves the Human Centipede, the first film, and he kind of, he's kind of in awe of Ashlyn, and he kind of loves her in a way, So, but yeah,
Awesome.
so that's the point where, where he's about to sort of say something. So, I'm glad you picked up on that anyway. So
Awesome. Do you think if you had to say the word, what do you think you would have said?
There's, I think, I'm not sure if it's in the final cut of the film, but we did, when he's in the rain after the car's gone and he's outside, and he does sort of shout "mother" in a, that kind of Batman by the grave kind of kind of scream. But yeah, I don't think it's in the final thing. I think they just kind of cut before I said that in the take. They cut it. But so that was originally the only word I did say in the film, but I don't think it's in there.
Of course, that's the one word that didn't even make it in.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been interesting, like really, really fascinating. Because it would have like summed up the whole thing. Like, okay, so he's screaming mother. So is that the whole? Is that the main reason for his anguish? Obviously, they mentioned his dad and the abuse he suffered as a kid. So, but obviously, his mom obviously wasn't nice, like trying to stab him in the bed before he turned the lights on.
But I just think it's a case where everybody that could have intervened or done something positive in his life hasn't, and that's kind of led to this kind of disconnect from society and from anyone with any authority or any ability to interact in a positive way in his life hasn't. Even the doctor sort of is a slime ball.
Complete creep. Yeah. I was happy whenever he got his comeuppance. I was like, yes. So that was very. It was paid off. It was a nice payment to just wait for that moment. So it paid off nicely. So before this role, did you know about the reputation from like the original movie?
Well, when I got when I was approached to come to the audition, my agent had turned it down, and I sort of had heard of the Human Centipede because it was on the festival circuit at that point, and it played Fright Fest and Fantastic Fest in Austin, Texas, and I'd read the reviews of that, so I told my agent to get back in touch with them, and so I'd heard about the film, I'd read reviews, and then on the day of the audition, Tom and Ilona did, they had a screening for people that they were interviewing for crew members and actors that they were auditioning in the next day or two, and so I saw it in the morning, and then had my audition in the afternoon. So yeah.
Oh, great! What was your audition like? Did the director, was it Tom Six?
Yeah.
Tell you it was going to be a mute role, or did he?
No, because it wasn't a mute role at that point. Tom just sort of he talked me through the entire plot of the film, scene by scene, and then I was going, yeah, that's just like In Society, the Brian Yunza film, or that's like the Hong Kong Category 3 film, All Night Long, or and it's like so there's all these kind of things going on, and I'm getting really into it, and we got on like a house on fire anyway, and then after like about sort of 40 minutes of that, or about half an hour of that, Tom sort of wanted to see we reenact certain scenes from the film. So it was like first it's Martin getting picked on at work, and how he reacts to that, and then Martin trying on the doctor's coat in the mirror and sort of getting into Dr. Heiter mode kind of thing, dressing up as his hero kind of thing, and then and how I'd react then, and then I think it was like the mother ripping up the sketch, the scrapbook, and reacting to that, and like so each thing was getting a bit more kind of extreme, and then they sort of ended up sort of saying, "Oh, can we see what it's like when the rape scene? How would you approach that?" And so I flipped over a chair and started. Because it would have been like the height of somebody kneeling on all fours, kind of thing. So I sort of went for that.
That's dedication right there.
Well,
that's commitment. If you don't commit to the role, then
well, the thing is, you don't want to do the audition, get the film, and then not say I'm not doing that part. So, you might as well try it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You approach it. You can always approach it with a different way when you shoot it. But yeah. So.
Oh, well, that's great. Well, I'm glad it worked out and stuff. So that's great. And
but yeah, I mean, when the script actually came through, which was a couple of months before we shot, I literally went through it and wrote Martin's kind of emotional thing in each scene, and then at the top and bottom, going into each scene and coming out of each scene, I'd write what his state was, because obviously you're not going to shoot everything in order. So it's just to make a note for me that when we were shooting, I'd know what state he was in, going in and out into the scene and coming out of the scene. So.
Oh, I see. So like you look at the paper and say, okay, this scene he's going to be angry. This scene he's going to feel.
If he's not going to talk, but then if there's no lines in the script for me to learn, so I've got to learn what's happening, and in terms of the emotional the emotional journey going through.
Oh yes, like facial expression, body language, and like
yeah,
looking angry or looking confused and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't get that. Yeah,
it's body language and breathing and so on. If he's just had an asthma attack at the end of one scene, you still want to be recovering from it in the next scene, and so so.
Awesome. I think you totally nailed it.
Thanks.
Hey, no problem. So, did you like in your own opinion, would you genuinely sympathize with Martin? Like, if you take away the the rest of it.
Well, I sympathize with him in that he's obviously grown up with nobody he can trust or that actually cares about him properly, and then but also I sort of can relate to that, being obsessed with a film thing, and what you would do if somebody destroyed your precious collection. His scrapbook, he doesn't have a collection, a scrapbook, so I can relate to that. So yeah, there was those kind of things, and then just playing up my own kind of social anxiety, to like turning that up to 11, one playing Martin kind of thing, so yeah.
So what was the most like hardest, and most difficult scene to do that you had to do in the movie?
Hardest, most difficult scene to shoot was the rape, just because um, you know, you're working with actor, you get to know actors, and you sort of, obviously, you don't want to make anyone distressed and so on. But again, as Martin, I'm trying to keep away from the main group of actors, as it were, just to have that kind of distance from when I'm playing it. I'm not a huge method guy. I'm just, just I need it, but I think it's worth doing a few little things, that to help. And then obviously doing the rape scene, it's because obviously you don't want to hurt anybody, and you don't want to, and it's got to seem frantic and violent as well. And then when we were talking beforehand, I think Emma had worked. I think she'd studied under a director that said, "You just got to go for it and do anything the director asks." And it's like, so she was like, "Yeah, just go for it," and then went for it. And then she's kind of psychologically, the moment where she pushes her hand back, and I caught it and held it, and she kind of had, because she did like kickboxing and stuff, and she always thought that if she was ever attacked, like in real life, that she could defend herself. But then when I caught her hand, it undermined her kind of belief in her ability to withstand an attack, kind of thing. So there was all these things going on in her head, and then she got upset, and then but and I'm sort of just going through as Martin, just trying to fucking rape her, and then but not trying to have any, obviously not emoting with her, kind of thing, not until after the scene, until after cut, as shouted. And then it's like seeing that she was in such a state afterwards. Then we sort of, because we did that for the wider shot, and then we shot again with close-ups of her and me separate. So then I'm trying to reenact what just happened, but make the same movements in the same order that just happened, and I'm doing it without her there, and also thinking about her reaction afterwards. And then that reminds me of how many films I've got with rape as a sort of either as a sort of plot device or a comedy thing, like some category 3 films like Raped by an Angel or Naked Killer and stuff like that, where it's kind of, and it's made, not made light. Well, yes, it's made light of in some of them, but it's kind of not as impactful as it should be, and it's not it's not taken seriously. And I think what works with the scene as it is in Human Centipede 2 is it is a very serious and hard-hitting scene, and it's got to be the moment where the audience loses any sympathy with Martin. It's like you see his where he's growing up, and you see the place around him. You think that his fixation on the human centipede he's taken it too far, but you can understand him and you sympathize with him, and then your sympathy is wearing a bit thin, and then by the rape you should absolutely sort of be not have any more sympathy with it. Should we put it that way? So yeah. So I mean, so that for that reason, it had to be impactful and serious, I guess. So yeah. So it's so there's all these things going on in whilst doing that scene. So yeah.
Jeez, and did did it like geez, I'm trying to think what way to put. Uh, did you know about like those types of roles were coming whenever you like said, "Yep, I'll take the role." Like, was it
Well,
mentioned, or were you in the middle of the movie and said, "Oh, by the way, there's going to be a rape scene"? You're like, oh, okay.
no, because we'd done it in the audition, you see. So
Oh yes, with the thing.
with
So that was
raping the
like
chair, yeah.
they told you this is going to be actually in the movie. This isn't just me randomly asking you to do something.
No, yeah. Because first of all, Tom, like I said, Tom took me through the entire film, scene by scene, explaining what was
Oh, I
happening in the
get
scene, and then we went into the audition part, and then, or me doing scenes from the thing. So yeah, that was kind of February, and then we were shooting in kind of August. So it was quite a long way, uh, a few months before actually shooting. So yeah,
you. Where was the movie shot?
lots of locations around London. I think the main sort of interior for Martin's uh, warehouse was that was kind of it's like an artist run space that used to be a sort of car showroom or a garage kind of thing on the Old Kent Road. But it was being run as an artist run space at that time. So they'd had, they'd have exhibitions on, and then this was a kind of downtime between exhibitions where they had like 3 weeks or something. So yeah. So we got in there during those 3 weeks and made a mess, and then had to clean it up. And, yeah.
Yeah, just hide all the bodies and just clear it
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Yeah, so I know obviously the impression I got was it felt like a horror comedy. So there must have been a lot of funny stories like back
Well,
like behind the scenes.
because Tom keeps everything light on set, and he's like, I thought we'd made a splatter comedy and it was going to be in vivid color kind of thing, and then but Tom had always said that he wanted to drain the color and have it like a kind of realist film, so it'd be silvery gray kind of light. And then when I saw it, so I was kind of surprised when I saw it doing when I did the ADR, it was in black and white. So yeah, but I think it works really well in black and white. So
Yeah, I totally agree. I know there is a colored version that was released a
yeah,
couple of years later, but I think black and white would just makes it more authentic and makes it more scarier. And
but yeah. I mean, even the color version is that kind of slightly drained color, and it kind of feels like a kind of um, Czech or Polish kind of as if we've got a Czech or Polish cinematographer on there to do it. So it kind of has a kind of Eastern European feel. I think
yeah, like a twisted
it just
Bollywood movie.
does feel a bit grim and grey, so, yeah. Like the Old Kent Road does. Yeah,
Yeah, see. But I love it. It gives like an original Psycho feel, like black and white. It works, especially with this type of movie.
yeah.
So that's awesome. And I know I've only seen bits and pieces of the third one, the third movie. I've seen like at least 70% of it.
Yeah.
I kept getting interrupted every time I tried to sit and watch. Something happens.
Yeah.
It's like someone's watching. Weird. But I know you all play different characters, and
Yeah.
how did you feel whenever you came back and like Tom said, "Okay, you're not playing Martin anymore. You're playing a different character." Did you know, like ahead of advance, that like okay, I'm going to be playing a completely different character, and he talks. Whoa, he actually talks.
Yeah. I mean, Tom had said, I want you to play the kind of opposite character to Martin. In that Dwight is kind of on the surface he's kind of nice, but he's only nice in comparison with Bill Boss, because it's actually Dwight's idea to sew all the prisoners into a centipede, and it's purely about saving money. So it's that kind of banality of evil kind of thing. And yeah, so he's very sort of garrulous and very kind of nice, and so, kind of adept at dealing with people, I guess. Um, yeah, so it's very different. But yeah, Tom sort of was very upfront about that, and he initially pitched it to me as I want you and Dita to be the Lauren Hardy of horror. So that's what. So yeah, he always intended it to be a comedy. I mean, I think it's kind of. I think people were expecting him to make it even gorier than part two, but he took, like, each of the films is very different in look and feel. So it made more sense to take it in a different direction from part two. So yeah.
I mean, which makes sense. Like, the first one is creepy and intense, and some kind of has some, like, if you're into really dark humor, you would laugh at, like, for example, first one, whenever Dr. Hyder has three of them stitched up and whatever, and he puts like a dog bowl down, and part of me wanted to laugh, part of me kind of did laugh. I was like,
yeah,
it's so unusual to look at, and it kind of makes you either laugh or I know you're supposed to look at it and go, that's so disrespectful, that's just beyond, but part of me is just laughing, going, that's actually
no, it's very much a kind of like spoof on the Mad Scientist film. The first film is a spoof on the Mad Scientist film, but it does have that kind of cold, clinical kind of. Obviously, it's the German Dutch border, and it has that kind of Euro kind of Nowheresville kind of feel, So it kind of feels like a lot of Eurocrime films, or something like Slouzier's The Vanishing, which is, again, set on the kind of motorways between France and Germany, or France and Belgium, I can't remember. But yeah, so it's got that kind of feel to it. And then, and also I think Dita's performance gives it a bit of a Monty Python-esque kind of element as well, so
just being so over the top, and
yes, but also kind of chilling as well, so it's kind of walking that line between, it's not a humor movie, but it's not a comedy, but it's definitely a kind of horror film with its tongue slightly in its cheek, whereas part three is more of a kind of satire on American mores, which is actually more topical after the first Trump presidency. So yeah, because it's all a man of Germanic descent hugging the American flag and claiming to be more American than Americans, and so on. Yeah. So
it's just batshit crazy.
yeah.
I love it. I know Data was in the original, for what I remember researching. I remember said he was a very like one of those actors who would stay away from everybody throughout the entire production of the movie to stay in character.
Yeah.
He liked that in person.
Yes. On this film as well, he'd be.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Gosh, he did a great job. What was he like to work with?
He's great. I mean, the thing is, before shooting part three, we'd done a convention or two together as well, and he'd really enjoyed when we did the world premiere at Fright Fest for part two. Dita sort of was all coming up to me afterwards and shaking my hand, and he kind of loved the film and was really happy for it, and like enjoyed my performance and so on. So and we'd done sort of conventions together, and then so when we did part three, we would talk normally between takes, but he would go off and be in his. He wouldn't socialize between takes and so on. And at his hotel where he was, he would be in character apparently. He was staying in a different hotel. Tom and Ilona were staying in the same hotel as him, and they said we couldn't take it.
Yeah,
he's crazy, but that's Dieter,
Yeah, if you ordered room service, I would totally be terrified to go to that door.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I ain't going up there. What? Awesome. God, so how long did which one took longer to make? I'm assuming the third one.
Part 3, just because it was a bigger cast and bigger crew. We had
there's everybody at number 3. Like, there's a huge cast. Like, it's crazy how big it got. Like, compared to like 2 or 1, where it's just like maybe 7, 8 characters total.
Yeah. But we had it was in LA, and there was lots of extras, and it's it was an on an organizational level, it was a lot more difficult. When we shot part 2, it was just often it was just me and another character on set, and it would be the crew was just sound, camera assistant, cinematographer, and then assistant director, and maybe a makeup and person there, and Ilona and Tom. So yeah, that was about it. So like the scene where Martin pisses blood, we actually sort of shot that in a cubicle, and everyone was kind of just to show how few people there were on the set. At sometimes there was Tom and the cameraman were sort of there, and I was using a squirty bottle. Sorry to disabuse you, but of the illusion, but spoiling the magic. But yeah, a squirty bottle of liquid into the toilet.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When I was seeing him up, I did feel it. I was like, "Ooh,
Well, it's after he gets beaten up, isn't it? But I think by the neighbor, I think. So yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of Martin was like doing a lot of coughing throughout this movie. Was that like a creative choice, or was that
Tom always wanted him to be somebody that was pathetic, and he kind of wanted Tom wanted him to have an asthmatic attacks, because usually kind of you see a villain and it's kind of an unstoppable big beast of a person, and the like strong and unkillable, and whereas he kind of wants to make Martin as fallible and apparently weak as possible, so
yeah, I mean, he was far from weak. He was going to hit everybody with shovels and crowbars and shit.
Well, yeah. I mean, he tries to hit them when they're not paying attention. So once they're tied up and bound up with gaffer tape, he's fine with that. And then they only get the gaffer tape taken off when he's stapled them together. That's
I remember them just going all the way back to stapling every one of it.
Cut their kneecaps so that they can't crawl away.
Did you ever accidentally hit anyone during it? Like, oh, sorry, Larry.
Well, it was a rubber. When I was hitting, it was a rubber.
You hit them as hard as you wanted, huh?
But I when you're kind of knocking them out, I would kind of alter my blows. If I'm doing like the mother, killing the mother, then obviously it's a heavy blow. Whereas if it's knocking somebody out, it was a glancing blow, and that's what I was doing in my acting. But then when the sound effects guys put the sound effects on, even if I'm just knocking somebody out, it sounds like a skull splintering. So I don't. They've just put the same sound effect on every kind of blow. So, yeah. So all my work gone to paste, gone to pot there.
Like, all the hard work for nothing.
Yeah. All my deliberate choices ruined.
I remember there was a scene I was in. I had to actually rewind it. I was like, that didn't happen. Did that happen? But it was the scene whenever Mart was chasing a lady and she was in the car and she gave birth and then she like stamped on her on the newborn and then she drove off. So I was like, wait, she didn't stamp on it. Wait a minute. No, she stamped beside it. And then I was like, what? Why? What?
The baby she gave birth. The baby's on the floor, and as she presses the pedal to accelerate away, the baby's under the pedal at that time. So
it was accidental.
So there is a squish. Yeah. So
again, I'm sadistic. I kind of laughed at that. I was like, what the fuck?
Well, like,
why?
Well, it was just that, she was so desperate to get away that kind of overrided anything else. So.
That was hilarious. But yeah, I was definitely one of them. Was there any scenes that you improvised yourself that Tom looked at and said, "Oh, I like that. Okay, we're going to keep that in." Okay.
I mean, it's like going back to 2010s. It's like 15, 16 years ago.
A year or two ago.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, like there's little things in each scene where I'm sort of doing stuff, and Tom would let you try things out. So I can't. I don't think I can tell what. Obviously the way I play, obviously because there's no lines, so the way I play the character isn't in the script, is it? So obviously most things I do are things that I'm coming up with, but Tom would often ask me, we'd do things different ways on different takes, and how it comes together is how it comes together. So, it all comes together in the edit. So, yeah.
Right. So how was it like going to do a movie after and getting away from this franchise? What was it like? It's like, say, like The Editor or Frankenstein Created Bikers?
Yeah. Well, I mean, The Editor came about because I was doing sort of conventions in America, and Frankenstein Created Bikers the same as well. So I met the Frankenstein Created Bikers guys in Atlanta. I think I met the Astron 6 guys in Atlanta, but certainly I'd met them at another convention later on as well. But yeah, I mean, I sort of got into Astron 6's stuff just by seeing the shorts and so on, and really enjoying that. And then and Father's Day was out around that time as well, and I sort of loved Father's Day. And then with Frankenstein Created Bikers, I just got on really well with James Bickett because he's got a great love of cinema, everything from like trashy kind of porn stuff, like Joe Sarno and Roberta Finley, and Doris Wishman through to Bergman and so on, and it's like and Antonioni. So his kind of scope of cinema is the same as my interest is equally as wide. So I sort of really liked what they'd done with Dear God No, which was like it kind of shot on 16mm, and it kind of it wasn't trying to be a grindhouse film. It was a grindhouse film, So so I agreed to be. I wanted to be in the sequel, Frankenstein Created Bikers. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant! Which has been your favorite project so far? Project.
I mean, Human Centipede 2 is obviously the favorite in terms of acting and the impact it's had on uh, on things. But also, I'm proud of my acting in. There's like a short film, Rats, which is on the Blu-ray pack for We Are Many, which was put out by the British Horror Studios. I also, I really liked again the British Horror Studios film In the Grip of Terror, because they relaunched Amicus, and it's got the fit. In the Grip of Terror has a feel of a kind of early 70s kind of portmanteau film, so
Yeah.
it's got the feel and look of it, and it's I really like what the British Horror Studios do. But I've there are films that I sort of think are brilliant, but I'm not great in them. Like, but also, I mean, The Editor is a fantastic film. I'm only a small role in it, but and I'm all right in it. I'm not too bad, but I love those guys and everything they do. So their sense of humor sort of really chimes with mine, I think. So yeah, if anyone hasn't seen The Editor, it is a spoof on giallo films, and it's really fantastic. So,
I'll definitely check it out. Does anybody ever still run up to you and call you Martin, or has anybody ever run away from you when they see you?
Especially, well, when the film first came out, yes, they did, and but even like 5-6 years later, I was getting people following me around in my hometown and surreptitiously taking photos and going. One person put a photo of me taken in W.H. Smith's, and they put, and he looked at me, and his eyes were staring into my soul. It's kind of like, fuck off. Sorry.
Like, I'm trying to have my tea. What?
I was looking at the Times Literary Review of the London Review of Books or whatever, but and picking up the latest Fortean Times. I wasn't looking at you, but it's just.
I didn't even know you were there. What?
I just knew somebody was sneaking around trying to look at me.
Like, if anything, you were looking at me with those eyes.
You could have said hello.
It's like a normal person walking up and say, "Oh, hey, sorry to interrupt you," instead of just staring at the back.
Yeah.
Oh God. That must have been fun though. Whenever people like getting used to like people in general coming up and taking pictures of you and like saying, "Can I have a picture with you?" You're like, "What? Sure."
Well, I mean, it's the thing was I'd had people stopping me in the street and that after doing Parallel 9, like a Saturday morning kid show in the mid-90s, I was a character called Little Green Man, and I'd get recognised on the street for that. And then that kind of died down by the time I did Human Centipede 2, obviously. But yeah, so I kind of knew what to expect beforehand, so that's fine. But yeah, it's sometimes it's a bit weird still, but generally I just take it in my stride. I mean, generally, if people, sometimes people would recognize me if it had been on the Horror Channel the night before, or if it had been on TV or something. But yeah, now that it's not on the Horror Channel anymore, it's getting less and less. So generally, the people that do recognize me have like their own copies of the film, or they're a fan of the film, and so they're generally respectful and polite. So yeah, I can't complain.
That's awesome. Do you ever go to like Comic Cons or anything like?
Yeah,
Been
yeah.
on any
Well,
panels?
yeah. I mean, I'll be doing two later on this year. One in Shepton Mallet. It's a new convention.
Oh,
It's set in the Shepton Mallet's got this prison, which is a kind of tourist attraction.
prison.
Yeah, it's like a kind of it's like an old prison that they've turned into this sort of museum kind of visitor attraction thing. So it's called Prison Con, obviously. And then
Any ideas on how to save money?
on how to save money, no, I don't know. Hey, I've got a bad Blu-ray habit, so I don't know anything about saving money. The best I can say is wait for a sale, but sometimes you get the FOMO. You can see these things selling out, and you go, "I'm going to buy it full price." So,
Oh shit!
and you might as well get it on 4K because even though you don't have a 4K player, it's going to sell out. So,
No, it is. It is.
that's my terrible money advice. So, there we go.
Amazing. So
and then I'm doing Weekend of Horrors, which is one of I think it's Europe's biggest convention. That's in Germany, towards the end of October. So yeah, they're both in October. The Prison Con's on the 17th, and then the Weekend of Horrors is the weekend after that. So yeah.
Jeez. Busy man, huh?
Well, I'm busy in October.
Until then, you're going to be busy buying Blu-rays.
Yeah. Needing money to buy Blu-rays, but yeah. No, I've got a few things lined up. So,
Ooh, some exciting projects.
well, I've worked on a few things with the British Horror Studios. Currently, Spoiling You and Black Chariot and the Amicus film In the Grip of Terror. So they're all available on the British Horror Studios website. And if anyone wants something a bit more extreme than that, I did a film in December called VHS Underground. It's not part of the official VHS series, but it's a kind of underground filmmakers' take on that. So it's a kind of, again, it's an anthology film by underground filmmakers from Europe, and that's coming out on Uncut TV, sort of German or Austrian, I think Austrian label, video label, but yeah.
Oh, nice.
So that's going to be a bit more splattery and gory than the British Horror Studio stuff. But the British Horror Studio stuff is great. In a different type of horror. It's more. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully working with the British Horror Studio later in the year. I've sort of written. I'm sort of attached to a couple of things where I haven't really got shoot dates yet. So So hopefully 2 things in June, July, later this month or the end of July. Something in August. But it is like a couple of, it's like a day or two here, a day or two there kind of thing. It's nothing kind of major. So
Nice. Well, at least we have all them to look forward to. I know you, I saw somewhere you were casted in an upcoming movie called Baited.
yes, yeah. That again, that's one of the projects. Haven't got any shoot dates for it, but yeah. So I again, I need money for Blu-rays.
That's the whole point of this, man.
No. I do like working with low budget British filmmakers, and also the part that I got the script through, and the part they want me for is really good. Uh,
Ooh, nice.
so yeah. So.
Yeah, I have watched the teaser for that.
I watched one of their earlier films, which the film as a whole I didn't think was that great, but I thought there's a lot of. I thought it was shot really well. I thought it was really interesting, and I kind and that was one from years ago, so it wasn't like a recent one. So I'm interested to see what they're like now, kind of thing. It had potential. So, but yeah, I think that was about a decade ago that they made that, and then I'm intrigued to work with them. So yeah.
Yeah, just see how they've improved and
Well,
cinematography wise and acting and
but
writing.
also the script for this was really good. So yeah, so
That's a good start.
for Baited. Yeah, it's really good. So,
Yeah, so I was chatting to a member of. I'm gonna attempt to pronounce this, but it's a team, and they told me to tell you that they say hello.
Michael Fausti. I saw on Instagram. Yes.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said it. I didn't
Well,
try it. I would have butchered it.
I like working with Michael. He's great. Him and his wife. They are a great team. But yeah, but again, he makes great films that I'm probably the worst part in. It's I Burnt Flowers, and Burnt Flowers is he's going to release his own Blu-ray of that, but that's really good. It's a kind of again, like In the Grip of Terror, it has that kind of bit of a 70s kind of feel to it. There's a kind of it's set in the 60s and the 90s, and there's a kind of time, not time slip, but it's a kind of parallel storyline, and that's really good. It's really beautifully shot. And then the new film Angel Lust, which is just starting on the festival circuit, that looks really good. I'm going to see it in October at Phantasmagoria in Wrexham. So yeah, there's a Phantasmagoria Film Festival in Wrexham. So,
yeah. Nice. So you're assuming you're are you a horror fan yourself? Like, apart from being in them, are you generally, like, as a viewer, you're a big fan of horror?
I'm a fan of cinema generally, but I grew up in the 70s, and it was kind of behind the couch watching Doctor Who and public information films with kids dying and stuff like that. So yeah, I've always been interested in horror, and the kind of fantastical things, and the ghost story at Christmas kind of thing as well. But also in the 90s and 2000s, I was into a lot of gory Japanese stuff mainly. So yeah, so that's why I sort of really got on with when Tom got me in the audition. I was going, oh yeah, it's just like that. So yeah. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Asian cinema, and so, but yeah.
I'm surprised to hear, like, you're a Doctor Who fan. I have to ask, who's your favorite Doctor?
It's going to be Tom Baker. I mean,
of course, of course.
But I mean, but also he was so great in Hammer films as well. Yeah,
but, yeah.
Rasputin the Mad Monk, wasn't he? But, yeah.
He was brilliant. Do you ever keep up with it, or do you still watch it, or do you haven't gone to watch the modern ones, or stay with the old ones?
I watch it, but I'm not. Like the Weeping Angels are always a great invention, but great sort of monster. But,
oh yeah, they're intriguing. Yeah, don't blink.
Yeah, but yeah, it's not. Obviously, I'm not the audience for the modern films. I mean,
Yeah.
modern Doctor Who, because it's and to be honest, I liked that there was one series where it went back to originally Doctor Who was made with some of the money from the history department. So that's why the first series or two, they're going and seeing Romans, or going to ancient Britain, or going to the Egyptians or something. And the modern Doctor Who tried to do that with one series, and they went to like the India-Pakistan at the time of partition, and the Rosa Parks episode and stuff like that. I thought that series was fantastic because it did feel like the kind of the ones I wasn't alive when that first series of Doctor Who was on, obviously, but I saw them in like when they were repeated in the 70s and 80s kind of thing, So yeah, it kind of had the feel of those, but it was kind of slated online and in the Daily Mail for being woke and stuff like this.
I think it was series 11. I think something.
I don't know, but
Jodie Whittaker, I think.
No, it was before Jodie Whittaker, I think.
What was it? Peter Capaldi.
Let me check. I've got to look up. I'm terrible. My memory's terrible, so I've got to look it up.
Mine's just getting just as bad, man. Trust me.
Oh yeah, it's the 11th season. Yeah. Sorry. Yes, it was Jodie Whittaker.
That makes sense. I was thinking, I was like, I do remember the Rosa Park one. I was thinking, I'm trying to who else seen her? What else was she in? I'm trying to think. But yeah, I stopped watching a while ago. I used to watch it like every week, but that was like a long time ago.
Yeah, and Demons of the Punjab, the one set at the time of partition, was again also the 11th season. Yeah. So
yeah. I just kind of lost interest, I think, along the way. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's obviously it's aimed at kids, and it's
yeah, it's a bit too goofy. The days of it being genuinely scary and stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, it started going goofy a long time ago. So
yeah,
it's
crazy stuff.
But yeah, as a kid, I went to the Doctor Who exhibition thing in Blackpool kind of thing, and that was the scariest live thing I've been to. I think. So,
God, Blackpool's a beautiful spot. Have you ever filmed anything there?
Oh God, I can't remember whether it was Blackpool or Morecambe, but it wasn't in the centre of town. It was kind of at a hospital. We were filming at a hospital somewhere for a film that's not come out yet. But,
A movie that's pending.
Yeah, and I can't remember the title off the top of my head. So sorry. Yeah.
I just imagine like you're filming the scene and all you were thinking in your head was, what Blu-ray will I get next?
Yeah.
Huh. And you just thought that even after they said cut, you just walked out thinking, I mean, you could get this one, you could get that one. Ooh, it would look good in that shelf.
Yeah.
And you just got where you were. Christ. What's your most valuable Blu-ray that you have, collection? Or some people say, this is my prized Blu-ray shelf right here.
I'm not sure what's the most valuable, but
not valuable to you. I mean,
well, the ones I like most are the special edition boxes that Deaf Crocodile put out. They're usually kind of fantastical, kind of Eastern European things, but yeah, their stuff is really good. But in terms of like special edition boxes, I've got like there was a wooden box with like 4 different cuts of Cannibal Holocaust in, and it was there's all little bits and bobs in there with that. Got that and signed by Ruggiero, and then I got a special box of like a big box for Enter the Void, where it comes with a big photo album book. It's really good.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Someone commented. They said, "Have you done anything more horrific than Centipede? And also, which hospital? Because you mentioned Blackpool is a 40-minute drive from where I live."
I can't remember which hospital. Sorry, I don't know if it's in Blackpool or Morecambe. That's the thing.
Uh-huh.
I don't think it was Blackpool. I'm pretty sure it was Blackpool. Can't remember what hospital it was. Sorry. I think the film's called Untold, and it's it's loosely based on a real place, a real hospital in Preston. The script's kind of loosely based on it. And again, it's one of these things where it takes place in 2 different times. There's a modern nurse, and her mother was a nurse 20 years earlier, and events from 20 years previous come back into her life. But yeah, so I play somebody that's killed off, right? I play one of the first death. Is quite yeah, so I play that. But yeah, so Untold hasn't come out yet, but it's I think it's Blackpool. Can't remember the name of the hospital. Sorry. And anything scarier than Human Centipede 2? I don't know. I kind of think Rats is scary in its own way. That the short film that's on the special edition of For We Are Many. That's pretty good. Oh yes, sorry. The one thing that's scarier that I think is really scary is Quentin's Day Out. There's a character called Quentin Smyers that Sean Reynard has done, and I was always a big fan. And then a few years ago, we became aware of each other. That I learned that he lived near here, and so I've done a few films. I've done a few short things for Sean's YouTube channel. So there's so we've done a few episodes of a series called Nick and Knock Box, which are meant to be this kind of unearthed 70s children's TV show. But a Quentin short that I'm in is called Quentin's Day Out, and I play the Dirty Devil. But I'm a sort of menacing bus conductor. So, yeah. But it's scary in the way that, say, La Cabana is, the telephone box. There's a kind of existential, being trapped kind of element to it.
So it's more darker and like like in the just in the sense of the tone and the actual like what's the word for it?
Well, Sean's Quentin stuff is always comedic, but it's always are kind of a bit off and a bit wrong and a bit kind of, and especially Quentin's Day Out has a kind of darkness to it, even though it's about going to Blackpool for the day. So
I mean, it does sound pretty dark, to be fair.
yeah, well, nowadays with all the Glasgow head and stag parties,
There's no escaping those.
no. Yeah.
Oh, goodness. So is there a particular scene that you remember, like, from watching other horror movies? Like, what's the one scene you remember growing up that genuinely scared you and has stuck with you after all these years? Is there one in particular?
At the end of Freaks, where there's one of the midgets is crawling along the ground with a knife in his mouth.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
They're going to extract their revenge. That's just a marvelous, terrific film. Also, Carl Dreyer's Vampire. That sort of always. And even watching it today, it's still a scary film in a dreamlike way. It kind of doesn't quite make sense, and it's a kind of it's really unsettling still. I think it's a fantastic film. So yeah.
Gosh. You ever watched, because you mentioned Japanese movies, like horror movies?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a Japanese one. I know there is one in my head, but I can't think of what the name of it is. But there's one that kind of reminds me of a Japanese movie, Cannibal Holocaust. I know you brought it up earlier. Have you seen it? Like,
Have I seen Cannibal Holocaust?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. I've got the box set, remember?
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah, sorry, yeah. That's what do you think of it? Apart from the animal stuff, what did you actually think of it? I thought it was decent, like story-wise. I thought it was.
Yeah. No, it's got. Well, it's like Freaks. Freaks has the framing device of it being the sideshow talker telling you this story, and then in Cannibal Holocaust, it's about finding this footage of the filmmakers that went out to make a film, and yeah, and it's very clever in the way that they become worse than the savages, as it were.
Yeah.
So it's and it's good, and it's got a kind of love that kind of shot on film feel. I like the roughness of it. I like the everything about it, the transgressiveness of it. It's it's really good.
Well, probably give that one a proper check. Because I know they made like a soft kind of remake of Cannibal Holocaust. I think it's called The Green Inferno. Yeah,
I liked that as well. I thought that was good. I don't think it's not soft. It's just modern Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's
like whenever you watch like say Cannibal Holocaust, that feels like more raw. It feels more, when you watch the Green Inferno, you can tell it's Hollywood. It's not.
Yeah, but it's like when you watch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original versus any of the sort of later editions. The original is always going to have that rawness and power because it was shot by students in the baking heat and using sort of they had no money and they were putting it together with what they had, So there's a kind of rawness and a sincerity about it, whereas the remakes are or anything made within the Hollywood studio system is always going to have that kind of we've got to make money out of this, therefore it's got to be able to be shown to it's got to attract a wide audience or whatever. So yeah,
that's true. So I'm just curious if Tom called you up and said, right, I'm gonna make the Human Centipede 4. Are you on board?
He's not going to do the Human Centipede 4. He
No,
might
'cause I
make
heard there was a rumor
no,
a while
no.
ago.
It's not. There's never been a serious rumor. Tom's always said he's not going to make it. He might make a human caterpillar, like in Human Centipede 3, you see the prisoners with no arms and legs sewed together. So, but yeah, I kind of can't. I can't see how that would go. But there we go.
Yeah, that,
If
that
he was ever persuaded to go back to doing something like that, he would do the human caterpillar just to be different. I think.
I mean, I would watch it out of pure curiosity of how. You know, I definitely would. Would you be on board if you called you up and asked you wanted to be a part of it?
I
Caterpillar.
no, I'd do anything. If Tom asked me to be involved with a film, I'd take it into consideration. If it wasn't anything Human Centipede or anything related or Human Caterpillar related, I would definitely be up for it and I'd definitely do it. The Human Caterpillar, I'm not sure would work so as a film, but there we go. You've just got 3 quadriplegics rolling around on the floor for a bit. I mean, it could be a comedy, but yeah, it's like,
I mean,
yeah.
I could kind of see it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's, sorry.
You okay?
Yeah.
I'll not keep you too much longer, but it was one thing I was curious about.
Yeah.
Whenever Human Centipede 2 ended, right, and it ends with Martin sitting in his booth and he's like watching Human Centipede 1, part of me was thinking, so all of that, everything that happened in that movie, was it like a dream sequence in his head, or was it something that actually did happen? Because like, or does it sort of let the audience choose? Because the way it ended was so kind of abrupt in a way.
Well, I mean, Tom's made it so that the ending is ambiguous, so the audience can choose. But people that say that it goes back to an earlier scene in the Martin's back in his booth, like in an earlier scene. But that shot at the end isn't in the earlier scene. There's a shot similar to it, but not the same shot. So I don't think it's a dream. But the best theory I had was a fan had this theory that I met at a convention once. He said the ending is what's happening is that Martin has got the centipede. Sorry, spoilers for anyone that hasn't seen the film. Martin's got the centipede up his bum, and he's dying from the centipede poison in the warehouse. And as he's dying, his mind goes back to his happy place, which is being at work, watching the Human Centipede late at night, all on his own, kind of thing. And then because the crying you hear, the baby crying you hear, isn't the child in the car. It's the same crying as when Martin was dreaming and having the kind of flashbacks to his father abusing him, kind of thing. So it's all in Martin's head. The end section is all in Martin's head. So he's actually dying and he's going back to his happy place, which makes a lot more sense than it being all a dream. So.
Yeah, it's definitely a very, very good theory. And it would be kind of a really nice wrap up. Again, I know it's up to the audience and stuff, but it's really cool when you really put it like that. It's like he's found peace out of pain.
In his mind,
That's,
he's found peace. You know,
yeah, that's what
it's like he's dying doing what he tried to do. You know, which is making a centipede. You know, so
pretty cool. I love it. So is that so? You're in your mind. What do you think? How when you watch the movie and it ends, what way do you think do you conclude it? Just pretty much similar to that.
yeah, well, I mean, since when the fan told me that, it just made sense. So to me nowadays, I watch it and that's what I think. But initially, I kind of just took it that it all happened and the sirens in the background were the police coming to arrest Martin, or at least to free the child in the car, kind of thing, you know. So,
Well, it was a great movie and definitely an amazing performance on your end, especially like the fact that it wasn't vocal and you did a really great job of that. In
thank
fact,
you
I
very
know you didn't even have to talk. You know, you still pretty much carried the whole movie just with your presence. And I think you've done a really good job. And I can only imagine it sounds easy, but it's not as easy when you're actually doing it. Like it's harder than it sounds like. I imagine. Like as you said, you kept notes and you looked over what the next emotion would be, and
yeah.
you did a great job and banged out a classic. I'd even say it's definitely up there with like some of the greats, and even surpassed the original in my opinion.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a lot of people's favorite out of the three, but I mean, different people have different favorites. I mean, some people like the third best because it's kind of more, it's more kind of comedy and it's more kind of out there kind of thing. And other people like the first one because it's more of a traditional mad scientist film. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, most people prefer the second. So.
Yeah, I think it's because like you can watch it, and every time you watch it, you kind of come away with something different from watching it. Like, maybe I never thought about this being that or this or that, and you take something completely different every single watch. That's what makes it, different.
It is very rewatchable, surprisingly. So, yeah.
Yeah, like I went in, I heard everyone like if you read comments or anything, and people say to you, "It's the worst. It's disgusting. It makes you sick." And I went in, because I have a very strong stomach, so I didn't feel sick at all. I was watching it. I was enjoying it. I was having a good time. I was just like, "This is actually pretty cool." All right, nice. And I was trying to put things up with metaphors, like in the warehouse when the light kept blinking. I was like, "What does that mean?" I'm trying to think metaphorically. What could that be? And I was like, symbolism and stuff, But no, there's so much to take away from it. And, you got all of you and the whole team, you all did a great job with it.
Yeah, it was a really good team, really good bunch of actors as well. So, yeah.
All right, well, I can't wait to watch your upcoming projects. They're going to be pretty cool. Yeah, keep an eye out for Untold and Fated, and all the other stuff you've got coming.
Angel Lust, I think, would be better.
Angel Lust.
Yes, the Michael Fausti film.
Angel.
And obviously spoiling you, and Black Chariot, which is a kind of 40s crime drama ghost story thing.
Ooh. Love that. I love ghost stories.
So there we go. Okay.
Well, great. Well, thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to listen to me rambling and answering questions. And honestly, I really, really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. Okay. Okay. Thanks, Max. Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay.